So I chose to learn the story, The Healing at the Bethesda Pool, because it was a story that resonated with me as far back as the 2000 time frame. So I was dealing with some physical challenges and as a result emotional challenges, and that story spoke to me because I saw myself in the role of the sick man. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. There's love in the water. There's joy in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Come here, this way.
After Jesus ministered in Galilee, he traveled to Jerusalem to attend one of the Jewish festivals. Now, in the city of Jerusalem, near Sheep Gate, there's a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda. And it is surrounded by 5 covered platforms, like porches. And on these porches lies hundreds of sick people, blind, lame, and paralyzed. One man was there that had been ill for 38 years. And when Jesus saw him and knew he had been lying there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" Well, the sick man said to him, "Well, sir, I have no one that would lower me down into the water when it's stirred up. And when I'm trying to get in, someone else steps in front of me." Well, Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." And immediately the man was healed. And he took up his mat and he began to walk. Now that day was a Sabbath. Similar to other stories I've told, I use pretty much a really basic process. 1, I pray. 2, I visualize it. 3, I research the story, and then finally I practice telling it. Now, I start out with prayer just because I so not want this to be about me, and I want the entire process to be kind of bathed in prayer and just kind of leaning on God to kind of direct me. I visualize it because I'm a visual person. I love the movies, and so oftentimes as I'm reading through the verses, I'm either lying down or I'm sitting in a chair with my eyes closed, just visualizing the different scenes of the story. Similar to the sick man, I had a lot of excuses for why I was in this state and was hence lying dormant, wallowing in my situation. I'm thinking of when Jesus asked the sick man, "Do you want to get healed?" And I always think, when I hear it, Jesus is saying, "Girl, get up, pick up your mat and walk. Trust me," just so I can kind of feel what it felt like to be the sick man. While I told it standing up, I do lie down on the floor just to kind of see what was it like to be lying down and having Jesus look down at me and say, "Do you want to be healed?" What was that like? Just so I could get the sense of the emotion and the frustration of the sick man in the story. Based on this particular portion of the story, we're not sure if that man even had faith. We're not even sure if he knew who Jesus was because he called him by the name of Sir. Unlike him, I did have faith, but I would say my faith was with little faith. And what I love is that God can heal us regardless of the size of our faith. And then finally, I practice telling it. And I tell it moving around, walking through my house, while I'm driving, while I'm in the shower. Just anywhere, because what I want to do is be sure that story is a part of me. And as a result of that, I'm internalizing it, and I can tell it anywhere, anytime, because it is a part of me.